when I was still doing Dance Party, WHBQ-TV in Memphis in 1958, my minister, where we went to church in Memphis, Reverend Jimmy Elder, was a big fan of mine and loved my morning radio show and loved my television show. Called me one day and he said, he was from Gallatin, Tennessee before he came to Memphis, and Gallatin was the home of Randy's Record Shop, owned by Randy Wood, who later founded Dot Records. And Reverend Elder said, Wink, Randy Wood's coming to town, and you might want to interview him on your television show, because by now he had given rise to Pat Boone and the Hilltoppers and Billy Vaughn, and his was the most successful independent record label of them all. Mm-hmm. There was Columbia, Decca, RCA, and independently there was Dot Records. And I thought, wow, I'll jump at the chance. And I thought, in the back of my mind, I thought, since he's going to be interviewed by the Winker on my show, why don't I choose that day to lip sync my local record, All Love Broke Loose, on my Dance Party show? And thanks to my ulterior motive, which I thought, Dot contract, Dot Records, I did. And wouldn't you know, that night we went to dinner, and over dinner, Randy Wood says, how would you like to be on Dot? I said, are you kidding? Long story short, he paid $25,000 to OJ Records for my record contract. He said, we won't rush to record you, but I'll be on the lookout for something for you to record. Now, this was in late 1958. I was transferred at my request by RKO, who owned WHBQ and KHJ in Los Angeles. I was transferred, came out to LA in 1959, and started doing a morning show on KHJ radio when they went rock and roll, as most stations were doing in those days. And one day I got off the air, and I got a phone call from Randy Wood's secretary. They were just up the street from where KHJ was located, right above Wallach's Music City, Fountain and Vine. And the secretary said, Randy wants to talk to you about something that he has for you to record. So I go, oh, very excited. So when I got off the air, I went up the street, went up to Dot Records, and I went into Randy Wood's office, plush carpeting this deep. Wow, what am I doing here? He said, Wink, I think I found something that might be right for you. And he played this old 78 RPM recording by a country singer that had been popular right after the war in 1946. It was by T. Texas Tyler, and it was a narrative called Deck of Cards about a soldier who used a deck of cards in church because he didn't have a Bible. The ace was one God, the deuce, Old and New Testament, and it went on through the Bible like that, through the deck of cards. And it was an old scratchy recording, and I thought in the middle of it, I thought, as I'm listening, who's going to buy a semi-religious talking record? At that time, Lloyd Price's Stagger Lee was number one. Frankie Avalon's Venus was in the top 10. There was Mac the Knife by Bobby Darin. Kids buy records, and who's going to buy a religious talking record? But I was determined that when he took the needle off that old scratchy record, no matter what he said, I was going to say, Randy, I love that. That is fantastic. He took the needle off. He said, what do you think? I said, Randy, I love that. I think that's terrific. What a great story. We went into a studio about a month later and did sort of a pop version with vocal chorus of this talking record. And we made a popular version of this old country talking record. And Dot put it out, and nothing happened. This was about, mid-May, 1st of June. But one morning in September, I get off the air, and I get a phone call from Christine Hamilton, his sales manager at Dot. She said, Winky, they call me Winky still. We just got an order for 10,000 of your record out of Boston. Bob Clayton, the top morning man in Boston, had just, for whatever reason, put this talking record by Wink Martindale on the air that morning, and the switchboard lit up. reminded me of that
That's
night.
All Right, Mama. Yeah.
That's All Right, Mama. And Bob, from that day forward, it just spread across the country.